couple of years ago, I was asked to do a Bible study group. I'm thinking Catholics don't do Bible studies, you know. And to do a Bible study group in Houston. I'm going, Catholics definitely don't do Bible studies in Texas. To do a Bible study group in Houston with a bunch of astronauts. Astronauts, oh, I could do that, yeah. So I wound up at a dinner evening of about 12 couples, all of them astronauts and spouses. One of the guys, half of them were Catholic as it turns out, so much for Catholics not doing Bible studies. One of the guys came up to me and said, you know, I just want to let you know, I believe in the absolute truth that creation was made in the 6 days just as described in the book of Genesis. And that's my religion. I just want to let you know that ahead of time. And I'm thinking, you know, have you actually read Genesis? Where it says the world is flat and it's covered with a dome and there's water above and below the dome, you know. Where does the shuttle go? How come you don't get wet?
Ball versus a circle when it comes to Isaiah. Let's take a look at these Bible verses. For all those that claim that Isaiah was referring to a ball earth, okay, of course, all these Bible verses state, referring to God, he sits enthroned above the circle of the earth. And again, everybody that wants to believe in the lies of science, that we live in a ball, okay? Circle, circle, circle of the earth, okay? There's no reference to a ball. But one thing I found very interesting, out of all these references to the circle of the earth, there's one Bible verse, the International Standard Version. He's the one who sits above the disk of the earth, okay? The disk. And again, no ball is mentioned, no sphere is mentioned when it comes to, again, this verse from Isaiah 40:22. And just to be clear that Isaiah knew the difference between a ball and a circle, let's take a look here. And clearly Isaiah knew the difference between a circle and a ball. Okay, all these Bible verses, okay, ball. He will roll you up tightly like a ball, okay? Let's go to King James. Okay, that's the main one I want to look at here that I should be focusing on. Okay, he will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. So, again, you can go through all these Bible verses and you'll see Isaiah clearly knows the difference between a ball and a circle. Now let's take a look back here at Genesis, the very beginning of the Bible, creation of this world we live in. Okay? Station. Let's take a look at King James, which again we should focus on. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And very important, notice no mention of planets during creation in Genesis whatsoever. Okay? Planets, they're nothing more than lights in the sky. Why do planets shine like, so-called planets shine like stars in the night sky? Because that's all they are. They're nothing more than lights in the sky. And in the entire Bible, there's only one reference to planets. But I want to clarify this. Let's take a look at this actual verse from 2 Kings. And again, with planets not mentioned during creation, but again, this one particular verse, planets are mentioned when it comes to those who burn incense to Baal, to the sun and the moon, and to the constellations, and to all the starry host. Let's go down here. That's the New International Version, which I don't look at too much. But again, let's look at King James, where again, planets are mentioned. You know, again, they burn incense upon Baal, to the sun, and to the moon, and to the planets, and to all the host of heaven. Now let's take a closer look at the meaning of planets itself. The definition. It comes right here again from the Greek meaning. The word planet comes from the Greek word, basically wanderer, short for wandering stars. So that's all there. Planets are nothing more than wandering stars. That's why they're not mentioned during creation. Now let's take a look at here at space.com with the question, why do planets look like stars in the night sky? Because that's all they are. You know, the official reason that the so-called planets, which are nothing more than wandering stars by definition, you know, the official explanation is it's because it's a reflection of the sun. Absolutely not. They're just, again, wandering stars. That's all they are. Now let's take a look at Genesis 1:7, talking about the firmament with the King James Bible. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament, from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. Now let's take a look here at other Bible verses from Genesis 1:7 with the New International Version. So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it, and it was so. So for all the believers in God and the Bible, if you're still going to stick with the whole idea of the ball earth, you might as well stick to the evolution, the string theory, the theory of relativity, gravity, because it's not biblical. Okay, let's take a look here at Job 37:18. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as molten looking glass. Okay, this is from your Bible and from Psalms. He set the earth on its foundations so that it should never be moved. So clearly, whatever science tells us is the exact opposite of the Bible. How clear can it be? So if you're sticking to the whole idea of the ball earth, you're not going along with the biblical truth. You know, you've been unfortunate to see by the churches that are run by Masons, they're not giving you biblical truth. They're only giving you half-truths. And one thing I find extremely interesting when it comes to the word dome. Okay, look at all these biblical verses here talking about the dome from Ezekiel. As I looked at the dome over the heads of the angels. From Amos, this is a very famous verse where it talks about the vaulted dome. And he has founded his vaulted dome over the earth. Okay, again, from Ezekiel, above the dome, over their heads, was something that looked like a throne made of sapphire. And one thing I found very interesting, not only in Deuteronomy, also mentioned again in Isaiah. Let's take a look here at Isaiah with all these references to the kingdoms. Okay, let's take a look here first at King James. As my hand hath found the kingdoms of the idols, and whose graven images did excel them, of Jerusalem and of Samaria. Now let's scroll down here a bit. Again, this one biblical verse I find very interesting with the word kingdoms. Let's scroll down here, and we're going to know exactly how they came up with the word kingdoms. Basically, kingdoms means kingdom. As my hand hath found the kingdom once again. So I find that very interesting. Kingdoms is a reference to the king's dome, referring to God. Now let's take a look here at Oxford Dictionary. Of course, the definition of kingdom: a country, state, or territory ruled by a king or a queen. They're replacing God, these kings and queens. For example, the kingdom of the Netherlands. And right here, the spiritual reign or authority of God. Okay, kingdom. Kingdom is kingdom. The rule of God or Christ in a future age. I find this extremely interesting. Now let's take a look at these concepts here. It reminds me of the whole entire concept of the kingdom in Seattle. Unbelievable. It's always in plain sight. The kingdom or the kingdom. It's no longer there. Built in the 70s. It has since been replaced. Now also, I found this interesting as well. Currently under construction in the Philippines is the kingdom. Let's take a look here. It's proposed to open up in 2025 at the cost of over $6 billion. And I find this pretty much mockery. The Kingdom Global City. You know, they call it global with the kingdom for, of course, kingdom. Unbelievable how they love to mock. It's going to be a multi-purpose facility, you know, run by this one pastor. His name is Apollo. So, you know, anything that's this big, you know, it's Masonically owned and controlled. Nonetheless, I find it very interesting looking through all those Bible verses, and clearly we live under God's firmament. According to the Bible, this is God's kingdom or the king's dome.
Human action resounds in the heavens. The bell echoes above. What we decide here today will polish or crack the firmament. What shall it be? Human action resounds in the heavens. The bell echoes above. What we decide here today will polish or crack the firmament. What shall it be?
From Black Ops that was released by PlayStation 4 just a couple years ago. Take a look at this scene. Unbelievable how they give us the truth in plain sight. And a lot of these fanboys with video games and NASA, they don't understand what's happening, what's right in front of their faces. Just take a look at here at the flat earth model in plain sight. And it's funny, underneath it says, "Yay, science." Take a look. Definitely 100%, as you can see, the sun and the moon flat earth model. And it says underneath here, the text acquired from the black market reserves. And again, yay, science. Just mockery. And this is basically biblical, hanging over nothing. And so, again, they give us the truth in these places, just like this one video game that's, I believe, currently being developed. I'm not sure when the exact release date is. And it's called Solar Warden. And again, the flat earth truth in plain sight. And you see it here with it says here, experience the truth of earth. And of course, the flat earth model again, the truth of earth, again, mockery. Now, I find this very interesting here, where they show the flat earth, and this is a misrepresentation. Anybody that knows anything about flat earth knows this is all we have. We basically just have the flat earth with a dome and deep space is nothing but a hoax. All we have is inner space. And what I find interesting is the dragon itself. It reminds me of this one scene which I've covered before in a video from Star Trek The Next Generation. Let's take a listen to the dialogue that is said here.
The course in ancient history at Starfleet Academy about the time when men still believed the Earth was flat. And that the sun revolved around it. And that if a ship sailed too far out into the ocean, it would fall off the edge of the world. Beyond this place, there be dragons.
He says, beyond this place, there be dragons. And of course, it gets back to the scene here with the dragon. And as you've seen here, I just broke away from it momentarily. From the latest Star Trek series called Star Trek Picard, you see the breaking of the firmament, of course, mockery of God's firmament. And you see the star falling, the fallen stars, the fallen diamond from the sky. And it reminds me of this, of course, with Captain Picard. And again, the connection with Flat Earth. He mentioned the Flat Earth. They talk about the Flat Earth. And I have no doubt whatsoever the name Picard, besides being 33 in numerology, is spelled differently than this Picard. The scientist Picard, Dr. Auguste Picard with the double C's from 1931 from Popular Science, where he mentions when he goes up 10 miles high and he sees a flat disc with an upturned edge. So definitely, the Flat Earth reference once again when it comes to the Star Trek episode with Captain Picard. No doubt whatsoever, the Flat Earth truth in plain sight, once again, in the aspect of entertainment. Just like this scene I've covered before as well, with this music video, Korn. And just take a look here, as you see the song called Coming Undone. And you see the firmament, the sky cracking, all in plain sight. The truth in plain sight. Once again, this is how they do it. Nothing's hidden in this world. They put the truth in plain sight.
Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated.
Don't believe the papers, don't believe the news. Cause all that they serve you are opinionated views. Don't switch on my TV, cause all they do is lie. And I don't need no programming telling me what to buy. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. Don't believe in aliens, I don't believe in war, or the reasons why they're for. Don't believe celebrities pretending to be what they ain't. Make poverty history, they say, all in the same. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. Don't believe the justice system will give you what you deserve.